If you're into writing, no matter for video games or novels, you're familiar with Jungian archetypes. You know the stuff that is used all around in cinema, your favorite Netflix series, books, and etc. As a writer, you are free to write as you wish, inventing your own system of character creation or not having any at all. But today let's talk about the D&D alignment system and how it can give your characters a fresh start. This system allows us to see characters from the perspective of their morality and ethics, which form their thoughts and behavior. We're going to cover part of it, or maybe half, so your support will mean a lot to me. But before we start, greetings, stranger. My name is Katy. I'm a writer and a narrative game designer. So here we talk about fantasy, books, games, how to write, how to build your universe. So if you like any of these topics, you're welcome here. For those who are not familiar with the D&D system, let's discuss a little bit about the alignment system. Unfortunately, I didn't have that experience of playing D&D myself. In fact, I've never played it in my entire life, simply because I don't have friends playing it. Anyway, I like watching different parties on YouTube while doing my stuff. So when I started observing the game, I couldn't help but think of the whole ecosystem behind it. I was particularly interested in character creation, so that's where I've started my research. So the alignment system is basically a tool which helps you to form your characters' personalities and their philosophies, which basically means that even if you take two good characters, their worldview can be slightly different, putting them into two different categories. Well, we are going to talk a bit later about it. So, why should we use it in writing? I find this particularly interesting for writing novels, not only in game characters, because unlike the traditional archetype system, it can be useful for, well, really a bunch of things. We talk about consistency, knowing the archetype and the philosophy behind it can help to make your character consistent while creating a plot. It also helps in the character arc creation, especially establishing clear progress. Because the alignment system is a combination of two axes, we can easily see and create character antipodes. For example, if your character is lawful good, its counterpart will be chaotic evil. Though it doesn't mean that you necessarily need to take just the absolute opposite characters. Even taking two characters from the same categories can show the contrast in their worldview. Okay, enough has been said about the alignment in general. Now let's see some graphs. So the alignment is two axes, as I said before. One axis represents order from lawful to chaotic. Another is morality, good versus evil. Originally, in the first edition of the Dungeons and Dragons, which was in 1974, there was only one X of order, which basically meant that all creatures and characters were either lawful or neutral or chaotic. But later, in 1979, another axis of morality appeared, which added good, neutral, or evil characters. Through simple mathematical calculations, we can get 9 types of possible characters, and that creates a whole bunch of possibilities for your story. Before jumping into alignment grid, let's first understand what does lawful, chaotic, and good and evil mean. Law and chaos represent the opposing principles of order versus entropy, control versus chaos, society versus the individual, and stability versus change. Law and chaos are neither good nor evil, they simply are. Law is order, a pattern, I would say, the ability of your character to follow the rules or act logically and consistently. Chaos is unpredictable. That's the opposite of law, which makes the character act unpredictable, not following a certain pattern or being highly changeable. Think of, I don't know, Joker from The Dark Knight. It's pure chaos. A neutral character will most likely act according to law, but at the same time having their own interests or morality. This sort of character does not have a compulsion to obey or to rebel. The good and evil axis, in my opinion, is much easier to understand because it's basically the division between altruism, kindness, mercy versus harm, hatred, and malevolence. So basically, white versus black. Neutral characters at these acts usually do have principles and morality, but they are not taking it to the limit, meaning that the neutral character, for example, will probably be against killing innocents, but at the same time will not sacrifice himself or herself to save others. Today, I suggest talking just about the good guys. So let's see 3 types: lawful good, neutral good, and chaotic good. Lawful good. That's probably one of the most common protagonist types. These types of characters are also called crusaders. This honest, fair, following the rules character who will help to take the kitten from the tree and help the old lady to cross the road. So the most bright example is a Superman or a Holy Knight or Paladin. This type of character faces the evil with dedication and discipline. Example, like, as I said, a Superman, Katniss Everdeen, Captain America, any paladin, actually. Neutral good characters are also known as benefactors. These characters basically do what they need to do without going to the extremes. Captain Kirk from Star Trek can be a good example of it. These characters believe in altruism, following their personal morals. Doing good is more important than upholding the law, but they also don't see law as a bad thing. So it's possible for them to break a law if it can help for their own vision, the good to take over the evil. Examples is like Spider-Man, I don't know, Harry Potter probably, chaotic good. The third one is chaotic good, and those characters are known as rebels. They have their own system of morals and beliefs that does not always align with what is lawful or right. Nevertheless, the impulses and intentions of such characters are exclusively positive in nature. These characters love to do good, as it fits into their worldview, where doing good does not necessarily require acting through law, or rather, legal means. Take as an example Robin Hood. Is he a positive character? Yes. Does he act lawfully? Well, the sheriff of Nottingham would question that. Other examples can be Han Solo or Batman, by the way. So, which framework is better when it comes to character creation? The alignment system or the archetypes? The advantage of the alignment system lies in its simplicity. It quickly communicates a character's moral compass and helps predict how they might behave in ethical situations. This is why it works especially well in role playing games, though I think it can also work good in novels, especially when we talk about background or second role characters who are not forming like the core of the plot. Archetypes, on the other hand, focus on narrative roles rather than morality. Archetypes represent recurring character patterns such as the hero, mentor, trickster, or shadow. They help to create patterns, the structures that audiences recognize. The key difference between these two is that alignment explains how a character behaves morally, while archetypes explain what role the character plays in the story. Because of this, many writers use both together, like alignment to define ethics and archetypes to shape narrative function. This was the first part of the alignment video, and again, your support means a lot to me. So if you like this video, please do not forget to put like, subscribe. And in the second video, we are going to talk about the rest of the chart left, the lawful, neutral, chaotic, lawful, all of this. You got me. And that's it for today. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Bye.